Let me tell you about the smile file and the thank bank because if you are anything like me or most other humans, you have a little voice in the back of your head that chats shit and is basically an awful, awful person. I don't know about you, but there is always a voice in the back of my head saying stuff like, ugh, who do you think you are? And ugh, you're not good enough to be doing this thing, and you don't know enough to be able to talk about this or write about this or publish that book or whatever. There's always that little voice that's like, oh, you're just not good enough, are you sure? Are you sure is not a bad question, but the bit that comes after it, not so good. And our brains are wired evolutionarily to focus on the negative stuff. And that kept us alive back in the day because, a rustle in the bushes was probably the wind, but we were wired to think it was gonna be like a bear or a saber-toothed tiger or whatever it was that we had to contend with, because if we assumed the worst, we would act accordingly and therefore not get eaten. Always a bonus. You get to pass on your genes to the next generation. We are here, you are here, and I am here because successive generations before us of our ancestors listened to that little voice in the back of their head that said, that might kill you, is useful. However, most of the time now, for most of us, we are not in any kind of physical danger most of the time, thankfully. If you're listening to this, almost certainly, that's a good thing. But that mechanism, that defense mechanism, that survival mechanism is still really active. It's still there, sensing danger, whether it's physical or not, because it really can't distinguish. And it tries to protect us from that. So this voice in the back of your head that can sometimes seem really unkind, it's there for a reason. It's doing it to protect us. Not very useful though when we want to do something really cool, like write a book or do stand-up comedy or perform trapeze on a stage or something like that. We don't need that little voice then going, oh, you're going to screw this up, you're not good enough, if you screw this up, you're going to die, because that's almost certainly never true. So what can we do about this? Well, first of all, I would suggest not trying to silence it, because when you try and silence stuff like that, it just gets louder and louder and more innovative with its insults and its suggestions and its naysaying, and it's kind of nastiness. It gets nastier and nastier. Not a useful thing. So my approach is always to not try and ignore it, not try and silence it, but to just notice it and be like, huh, interesting. And then we can disarm it by going and looking for evidence that what it's saying is not true, because it almost never is true. So how do I do that? Well, that's where my smile file and my thank bank come in. So I have a smile file I keep on Trello. I love Trello. Used to hate Trello, now love Trello. I've been converted to it. And in my Trello boards, I have a smile file board. And in there, I copy and paste anything that anyone says to me or about me that is kind or complimentary. Doesn't matter what, could be as small as, oh, thanks so much, this has really helped me today. Or like, for example, earlier this week, my friend James, hi James, posted something really lovely after the stand-up comedy we did on Friday and said that I had inspired his niece, and that absolutely made my day. Like, that was one of the most lovely things that anyone could say to me. Like, I'd never met this young woman before in my life before that night, and my comedy reached her, connected with her, made her feel some kind of way, and that was amazing. So that went straight in my smile file. If I have like a text message from someone saying, oh, I love you, I miss you, that's going to go in there, because it's affirmations that I am not the absolute shambolic trash panda that my brain likes to make me believe I am. I'm actually an okay human, doing all right. And so it's really important. So make yourself a smile file for a start. Every time somebody says something nice to you, note it down. Every time somebody writes something nice to you, copy paste it and put it in there. And then I also have a thank bank, and that's slightly different. So my thank bank is from clients that I've worked with, people like kind of testimonials, I guess, but they're not like, maybe they're not the kind of testimonial that I would kind of create and share in public. Maybe they're the kinds of things that people will send to me a little bit more privately that I haven't necessarily got permission to share publicly, but they're very specific to things that I do. So maybe I will put in testimonials about my books, the books that I've written, about a specific training course or workshop that I've run, about a program, maybe from a client on a specific book project. And I will put them all in there so that next time I come to sell one of those services, um, and I have that little doubt in the back of my mind, like, who on earth's going to want this? I can go to that thank bank and have a look at that particular file for, say for my Find Your Funny Bone workshop, and I can see what people said about it. And I can see that they said, oh my gosh, this was amazing. Really loved this. Came away from this with so many new ideas and techniques. And I can look at that and say to the little voice in the back of my head, see, you're wrong, you're lying, you're not helpful. And I can counteract it with the actual facts and truth, and just feel a little bit more confident about going out there and doing the thing that I want to do. So I hope that's helped. If you do two things today, make them a smile file and a thank bank. So your 5-minute takeaway. Set a timer for 5 minutes and go and find a bunch of nice things people have said about you. It won't take you long. Not just testimonials from clients, but lovely things maybe people have WhatsApped to you or said about you, on comments that you've written on, Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever, and then save them all in one place and add to them and add to them and add to them. And I promise you, it will help you when that little voice pipes up and says, you're not good enough. You shouldn't do this, because you are good enough and you should do this. So if you would like more from me, including pep talks just like this one, because I really fully believe that your brain is amazing, you are amazing, you have amazing stories to tell, you have interesting ideas and things to share, and people will be glad that you share them. So do it. And if you're worried about writing technique, we can work on that. The key thing is to get comfortable with sharing your ideas. So you can follow me on LinkedIn here and on YouTube, and you can subscribe to my posts on my channel. And best of all, you can go to moxiebooks.co.uk/freebies to join my email list. Choose from some free goodies to help you use your voice to make good trouble. My email list is the best place to be if you want to hear a bit more from me. Have a wonderful week, you all. Don't know why I said you all. Never said that in my life. Don't know what I was going to say. Have a wonderful Wednesday.